Family life back home, how much were you encouraged to be a sportsman?
Very much so. My mother was a very, very good hockey player, field hockey. My father played amateur football, and from what I gather, a few of his pals tell me he used to kick a little bit. So,
yeah.
So there was that sporting side of it. And my father was always at me to kick with both feet and, you know, practice and practice.
Well, we got him here to tell you off. Your father, Dick Best. Did you spot that he was a natural footballer? Did you ever look at him and think, crumbs, he's something special?
Yeah, well, I did think he had a lot of ability. In fact, most of my neighbours saw more of it than I did, actually. And I think the little thing that struck me was that he was so late, that maybe he was a little bit too late. Although I knew he was a wary type and strong for the size.
He was quite frail, really, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was late. I wouldn't say he was frail, he was late, but sort of wary, you know.
See more fat than a chip.
But I use the word frail because that used to worry you in those early days, wasn't it?
Oh, when I was a kid, you know, at school, all the girls used to make fun of me because I was so skinny, and it really got to me. You know, it became a thing with me. You know, I think I was the only kid in the school when it came to do PT classes or any sort of physical education. I wanted to keep my vest on all the time because I was so embarrassed about my. And of course, that made it worse. The more I did things like that, the more the girls took the mick out of me. Yeah. And it was always something that, because I know people that started to watch me, some scouts that started to watch me, and nothing seemed to come of it. And I always thought, you know, I was paranoid about it. I thought it was because I was so skinny, and I was never going to put on weight.
But of course, one man did spot you, Bob Bishop.
Right, yeah, I mean, obviously I didn't know, but apparently Bob Bishop, who was Manchester United's chief scout in Northern Ireland, had been watching me. And actually, I think they arranged a special match where he watched me. And came to see the family one day and asked if I'd be interested in going.
Do you remember that time when he came and called?
Yeah. He came along with another lad from the Craig Boys Club where George played. And they said, would you be interested in letting George go to Manchester United? I thought, well, I mean, who wouldn't be? I said, well, if he wants to go, he goes, of his own accord. So we called him off the street, actually. And I said, this man wants to know if you go to Manchester United. I think he didn't believe it, by the way. But then they got it sorted out, and off he went, done very well.
Yes, he did do quite well, didn't he? And his early talents were spotted by a gentleman very famous in the game, Sir Matt Busby.
He's the best player to come into football for a very long time. Not only that, he's a fantastic, he's got a tremendous temperament. He's away from his ability, and I have never seen a player that can beat players so close.
George, this is a surprise to see me here, and it's an occasion which I always recall. You're starting with Manchester United, and the way you started and the problems we had at that particular time. Our head scout in Northern Ireland at that time was Bob Bishop, and I believe he's still our scout here still. And he had been sort of recommending a little player, but more of an elf, because he was so small and so light and light-footed anyway. And of course I come away and I felt, well, this is a boy we must get interested in, despite his size at the time. I'm afraid a week after it, the bad news came that George had decided, I'm homesick, I want to go home. So I said, well, there's nothing much more I can do, except, George, if you change your mind, do get in touch with me. Because I was very impressed with the skills that he showed. It was natural ability. Well, it went about 10 days, and of course I got a call from Dick, his father, Dick Best, his father, to say that George had changed his mind and would like to come back and have a second go. And from there, that was the start of the great Best, one of the all-time greats. I'm sure he will live in some of the things he'd done on the field. The natural ability he had will be something I will keep in my mind all the days of my life.